जब वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस की बात करते हैं जॉब में यूजली नाउ वी कैन से वी हैव अ predictability to a very to a good extent because of kind of data that we get and etc. But when we talk about startup, there is no such thing. How do you manage your mental health to deal with this every single day?
think that's where the element of how, okay, let's use a word called happy or satisfied you are at work. Anytime you are in a space where you are positive in your thoughts, you are in a good place, whether it's at home, whether it's at work. And I think for anyone who's doing that, creating an environment of positivity rather is very important. And that's where I go back to a very important thing of setting targets. I think most people, I have made a business plan based on valuation. Okay, so now my valuation requires me to grow 10x next quarter. Most people in the team might not even buy it and say, "Yaar, ye to." And then I say, listen, so now so what it does, it creates stress in the environment. You say, listen, after we do this, we'll be valued at 100 million. You have stock options. Now you will be worth $250,000. Come on, let's do it. Oh, that's all lovely. It'll be nice if we get to 100 million. But if there's no belief in achieving that target, then there's no belief in what is my worth, because I also know it's not going to. I think I think that is a philosophy which is flawed. I think setting improbable targets, you rather say, listen, let's just get there a quarter later, but get the belief, conviction, because what is positivity? It's an emotion, it's a feeling that I set a target, I achieved it. That itself makes you feel good. I've set a target that I'll never achieve it. From the beginning, you are now working knowing fully well that you're not going to achieve. Now you're saying, how badly will I fail? That creates a very different environment. And I think people, if you want to keep, and everyone for some reason gets aligned to a number or to a target in the organization. Even a guy working in accounts or even a person serving tea sometimes will realize that यार माहौल कैसा है, लोग खुश है कि नहीं है, एक्साइटमेंट है, इज ओके, वो पता है। अगर लोग खुश है तो उसको भी लगता है कि मेरी नौकरी भी रहेगी, मैं भी खुश, और वो भी खुश रहेगा। और रोज लोग एक दूसरे को गालियां निकाल रहे हैं, स्ट्रेसफुल है, बिकरिंग चल रही है पीछे, देन द होल एनवायरनमेंट बिकम्स नेगेटिव। एंड द नेगेटिविटी डजंट स्टार्ट बिकॉज आई वांट टू bicker about someone. It becomes I am being pushed to do things which I know either we cannot do it, or it will take some kind of miracle to make it happen. And miracles can happen, and sometimes you can even achieve the unthinkable. But build a culture and an organization that really believes and sets aggressive targets, but then starts achieving them. That is the single biggest reason why you create a positive environment at work. The moment you start achieving what you set out to achieve, and that's like in life. I mean, if you are getting what you wanted, you wanted a car and you get that car, you feel good about it. You set out, I want a Mercedes, and you end up with a Honda City, you'll be terribly disappointed. Not that Honda City is a bad car, but the fact that your mind was set on a C class, you just feel disappointed. And that then creates a feeling of you let yourself down, and then you might have spoken it to your spouse or to your friends, and then you say, listen, अब बात तो बड़ी बड़ी कर रहा था, C class की ली तो तूने Honda City. Everything goes in a negative way, and then you start feeling bad about yourself. Then comes various kind of thoughts. I think uh, find the right people who will get you there, but then set achievable goals. Make it, if you're getting people who are not really ambitious or don't have the ability to deliver goals, then you've made a mistake in hiring, then correct it. But eventually, now that you've hired the person and you have now said that this is the right person for the job, then let's just set realistic goals and create an environment of achievement rather than an environment of failure. ऐसा तो क्या है कि ओनली आई एम सेलिब्रेटिंग बिकॉज मेरे को तो 100 अचीव करना था, मैंने 150 बोला था, आई एम हैप्पी विद 100 बट एवरीवन एल्स थॉट दे फेल्ड. That's also a horrible way of working. So in the boardroom, people said, well done, cheers, but outside ko bahar mat batana, because then they'll get complacent. Why would they get complacent? Why can't you manage transparency and motivate? The moment you have these kind of thoughts, you're building a culture which is very negative. So that then percolates down. उससे अच्छा बता ही दो कि यही था. एंड सेलिब्रेट भी करो सबके साथ, बोर्ड के साथ, एम्प्लॉयज के साथ, सबके साथ सेलिब्रेट करो, वी हैव अचीव्ड इट. दैट is one of the bigger reasons to, and I'll tell you, we had a very tough year in 2009 where we had to actually ask people to take pay cuts, and in return, this was before public, we gave them additional stock options. Nobody knew what stock options was at that time, but when we communicated the bad news, but then we set up a very interesting goal, which was a stretch target, which was a 4-month summer cycle. We said, listen, let's achieve this target. Nobody's going to get a pay raise because we couldn't afford a pay raise, despite the fact that we had raised some venture money. But we created an event around it, and we call it a line of no control, LONC. Of course, the play was on the word of line of control, but this is a line of no control. So and let's get that. And then we planned a big event where our guys we had a band, and somebody was practicing dances, somebody was practicing singing, somebody was
Celebration.
and we were already practicing, but the motivation was LONC to karna hi hai. And we didn't make unrealistic target, but they were tough.